Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Full 90. It is time for week 7 predictions of the Premier League, and it is the first week we have launched the Patreon, and we are in profit. We've had tons of accumulator winners, and shout out to all the members on screen. You get a shout out in every video if you join the Patreon down below. This might be the most winning accumulators I've had to shout out in a video, so please do bear with me, but there were a lot of winners. We had the European treble, AC Milan, Napoli, and RB Leipzig, and over 2.5 goals. That actually could have been a result on both teams to score treble, as you can see by all the results here. We had my alternative double pick to that, also odds of 3, Real Madrid halftime, full-time, and Rangers win to 0. We had the 5 League 5 fold, both teams scoring over 2.5 goals in the North London derby. Fenerbahce to win, Benfica -1 by Leverkusen -1, and Ajax Feyenoord, both teams scoring over 2.5 goals. That was void and abandoned, so that comes in. Another Alt League 5 fold. We have PSV -1, Benfica and over 2.5 goals, Bodo Glimt and over 2.5 goals, Olympiacos win to 0, and Partizan Belgrade to win. So again, sick. The light work 4-fold. I mean, it's light work. The Europa League 5 winners 5-fold. Rennes, Slavia Prague, Roma, Atalanta, Sparta Prague. The goals treble. As you can see here, we had over 3.5 goals in the Bayer Leverkusen game, ended 4-0. We had Ferencváros and Kukariki, Ajax Marseille, and then we had the Europa League treble as well. Atalanta -1, Rennes to win, and Roma to win. All these picks on the Patreon, of course, not to mention all the others that I shouted out in the Champions League video too. So you can join the Patreon by clicking the link in the description. You can also have direct messaging access to me. So if you want to contact me directly, join the Patreon. It's one of the perks. You can message me and I will reply to you. If you have an opinion, if you have an accumulator of yourself that you want me to look at and give my opinion on, you can shoot me a message over there. Shout out also to the new members that have joined the YouTube membership, who also get the same tips as those over on the Patreon. We have David Mariz, Jonathan Paz, Robert Englert, and White Christian. You don't get direct access to me with messages and stuff like that, so the Patreon is the best way to go, and it is more worldwide. There's more countries available, but thank you for joining the memberships club as well. With that being said, and that all out the way, it is time for the Premier League predictions. Kicking it off, we have Aston Villa up against Brighton. Not a draw between these two teams this season. It's funny, both Villa and Brighton lost 3-2 in Europe, and they both lost in the League Cup third round. But other than that, they've been absolutely smashing it. As you can see, Brighton currently in 3rd place, Aston Villa currently in 6th place. I think if it was at the Amex, I might shade Brighton in a 3-2 win, but I am going to go for a 2-2 draw between the two teams. The bookies can't separate them. They've had very similar things going on. Obviously, as I said, League Cup exit in the 3rd round, losing 3-2 in the first European round of fixtures, and very high up the Premier League without drawing a game. The odds are the same. It just screams draw to me, but my tip is both teams are scoring over 2.5 goals at 1.61, because I think either of these teams could win this fixture 3-1, something like that. So I'm going to go 2-2, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. After this, it's Arsenal up against Bournemouth. This is a tricky place for teams to go, but not this Arsenal side. I think they're going to win. I am going to go for a 3-0 win to the Arsenal, and this tip is amazing with this value. Arsenal -1 handicap at 2.25. I don't know if Bournemouth are going to score. They might sneak one, but I think Arsenal can easily score 3. Arsenal to win by 2 or more goals at 2.25. Just Arsenal to win at 1.52. Those odds are great. They're crazy. They're crazy to me. Bournemouth coming off a win against Stoke in the League Cup. Arsenal a win against Brentford. I think Arsenal are going to win. And I'm going to go -1 handicap at 2.25. After this, Everton up against Luton Town. Luton Town are terrible. It's going to be a 2-0 win to Everton, getting back-to-back wins in the Premier League. Absolutely massive. To be honest, realistically, Luton Town are going down. Sheffield United are going down. And then Burnley and Chelsea have got to battle it out to see who goes down after that. But yeah, I think Everton can get a win here against Luton Town. And the tip is Everton to win here at 1.62. After this, Manchester United up against Crystal Palace. I am going to go for a Man United win. I'm actually going to go for a 3-1. I know Man United just came off of a brilliant 3-0 result against Crystal Palace in the League Cup, and obviously they've drawn Newcastle in the next round. Newcastle obviously beating Manchester City 1-0. So no quadruple for them. Now we just need Man City to lose a game in the Premier League this season. The invincible record stands for Arsenal fans, and the quadruple does not happen for, realistically, Man United fans, the only ones that don't want the quadruple to happen, because then it kind of makes their treble feel a bit rubbish. So yeah, we're going to go for a 3-1 win to Manchester United, and my tip is Man United to win, but over 1.5 goals. You add that and it goes from 1.56 to 1.8. After that, Newcastle up against Burnley. Look at this. Need I say more? 2-0 to the Toon. Newcastle to win, -1 handicap, 1.8. I think that's very likely. Newcastle look great. Shut out Manchester City, brilliant performance. 8-0 against Sheffield United, against 11 men, by the way. You know, none of this red card stuff. Like when Leicester beat Southampton, I think 8 of the goals were scored against 10 men. So it's just a phenomenal, electric performance. 8 different goal scorers. Burnley don't want to play this fixture. It's at St. James's Park. It's going to be phenomenal, and they are going to win this game. Newcastle -1. After this, West Ham United up against Sheffield United. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win here. I don't really think the value is there in a 1.46 pick for West Ham to win, so my tip is actually going to be both teams to score at 1.8. I think that's good value, and I think Sheffield United can nick a goal, even if they're right at the rock bottom of the Premier League at the moment, and they did just concede 8 to Newcastle. I think West Ham are going to win. You could look at West Ham and both teams to score. If you want to just chuck it in an accumulator, adding West Ham to win isn't a terrible idea, because I think they are going to bounce back from the last 2 results. Liverpool, Man City, what can you do? They scored against both of those. I think West Ham are going to beat Sheffield United in this fixture. After this, it's Wolves up against Manchester City. Nothing crazy, but it is going to be a 3-0 win to Man City, and Man City -1 handicap, 1.83. So you can take last year's winners and runners-up of the Premier League to beat low opposition, 16th and 17th, Arsenal and City, to win by 2 or more goals for odds of about 4-1 by making that a double. So you can take that to the bank. Man City and Arsenal to win by 2 or more goals. Chuck Newcastle in there as well. -1 handicap treble. That would be odds of probably around 7-1. I think that's phenomenal because Man City are electric. They're going to win this game, and it's going to be fairly convincing. Wolves might get one, but City are going to win this one comfortably, so it's going to be 3-0. After this, battle of the undefeated once again. It's Tottenham up against Liverpool this time. This is similarly how I said last week. That was the best chance I could see Tottenham getting something from Arsenal at the Emirates in recent years. I even said on my Patreon, despite a 2-1 Arsenal prediction in my Premier League predictions video, I did a Premier League upset post where I asked people what they thought their upset of the weekend would be. I said that I didn't count Chelsea losing to Aston Villa as an upset. This was before it happened because I could see it happening. But I said that I could see an upset of a 2-2 draw between Arsenal and Tottenham. And Joe, one of the patrons, commented saying, obviously, that I absolutely nailed it. I think this could be very much the same. Tottenham are looking really good. Liverpool looking really good. I think Liverpool are the favourites. I think these odds make sense. I could see this being a 2-1 win to Liverpool. Another shout out, I said in the Liverpool-West Ham game, my tip given in the video was a late goal, for there to be a goal after the 82nd minute. And what do you know? Liverpool scored in the 85th, 86th minute. So that tip came in at 1.83. But my tip here is going to be both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at 1.57, because Tottenham are going to score, Liverpool are going to score. It's going to be more than 1-1. That is going to come in, hence why it's only 1.57. Very low odds, but I'm seeing Desmond's, and that's what I'm going to go with. After this, Nottingham Forest up against Brentford. I think this is going to be a close game. Again, the odds suggest it. Nottingham Forest and Brentford very close to the table. Forest have good home form. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and my tip is both teams to score at 1.8. So obviously they're saying it's about 50-50-ish as to whether or not both teams will score, but I think they will. I think Forest will score. I think Brentford can score. 1-1, both teams to score. After this, Fulham up against Chelsea. I've seen a lot of people predicting Fulham to win, Fulham to get something. I'm actually going to flip the script. This is not actually the safe pick anymore, but I am going to go for a 1-0 win to Chelsea. I think it's going to click. Something's going to give, to the point where I've actually said Chelsea to win at 2. I think you could look at under 2.5 goals. I think you could look at Chelsea double chance and under 3.5 goals. I'm siding with Chelsea. As crazy as that seems, they've won 1 game this season against Luton. I know they beat Brighton in the League Cup, but excluding that, 1 game against Luton. But I think they're going to beat their neighbours in this fixture. And finally, we have Luton Town up against Burnley. It's the battle of not the undefeated, the unvictorious. And I think Burnley are going to win this fixture. I'm going to give Luton a goal. Burnley 2-1. The last time they played each other in the Championship, Burnley took a 1-0 away win. I think Burnley are going to win this, and my tip here is Burnley to win at 2.46. If that doesn't suggest how poor I think Luton are, really, when you think about the standard of the Premier League, I don't know what does. But I think Burnley are going to get their first win of the season, leaving Luton at the bottom with Sheffield United. They're both going down. Like I said, it's between Burnley and Chelsea. It's funny, but I think Burnley can finally get a win and maybe start to get some results together. I think Burnley should be fine. Honestly, I'm a little bit worried about Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth could go down, but I think Burnley can take a win here, get themselves onto 4 points, and get their season started. So that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like. Thank you to the 300 new subscribers we've had in the last month. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe down below to join us on the road to 25,000. Hopefully we can get there by the end of this calendar year. That is going to do it from me. Once again, shout out to all the new patrons. You can join us using the link in the description. And I'll see you in the next video for Champions League predictions very soon.